Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Another near-record finish, and we're focused on thunderstorms coming in overnight. Find out how strong those will be for the morning commute.
All right, Ben, also marking a milestone. The U.S. clears another hurdle in the efforts to vaccinate the nation. But with a holiday weekend on the horizon, health officials have a warning. All coming up. We're going to begin, though, here at 5 with these tears of joy. A man who spent close to 50 years in prison for a crime he says he did not commit finally walks free.
It was 1973 when Ray Gray last tasted freedom. Richard Nixon was in office. The Vietnam War officially came to an end, and Elvis's Aloha from a Hawaii concert was seen on screens around the world.
Since then, Ray and his family have fought to clear him of the murder he swears he didn't commit. Today, he finally walked out of a Muskegon prison free. Larry Spruill was there for a very tearful and emotional reunion. Larry.
Good evening, Devin and Kimberly. We're talking about a lot of hugs and tears from pretty much everyone here at the prison. We're talking about almost 50 years. That's how long Ray Gray was inside the prison, and that's how long he was saying that he did not do the crime that he was committed of. Today, he's a free man. I was there for that very moment. Take a listen.
Yes, I'm nervous and happy and so many things all at the same time.
Unable to stop moving, just thinking about this very day, Phyllis Long says she's been waiting to see her brother for
Just too long. 49 years is too long.
Phyllis Long was just a little kid the last time she was able to hug her brother, Ray Gray.
I was just a kid.
It was 1974 when Raymond Gray was convicted of first-degree murder stemming from a robbery on February 6, 1973. He was found guilty for that robbery and murdering 3 women and Reuben Bryant in Detroit. He was sentenced on March 14, 1973.
Oh, this is almost time.
Almost 5 decades later, his family, including his wife, stood by his side, believing and declaring Gray was innocent.
And now he's going to get to come home.
His family and team of supporters always believe the truth will set him free.
I feel blessed, and I'm grateful for the people. I think the people made it happen. Not just the lawyers, I give them credit too, but the people. You know, justice is often not only blind, but deaf, you know, and you have to touch it. You have to continue to touch it, and the people touched it and kept touching it, and now we're here.
And Gray did enter a no contest plea with a sentence agreement of 25 to 40 years. He gets time served for 48.2 years already in prison. And I did ask him what would be the first thing that he would do now that he is a free man. He tells me that he wants a very good meal from Red Lobster. We're live in Muskegon tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
And Ray is right. He had an army of people who've been working all these years. His attorney, Gabby Silver, Bill Proctor, a lot of people. But he told all those folks all these years, Larry, that he would rather stay in prison than ever admit guilt. And in this plea, this no contest plea, it's important to make the distinction that he doesn't, right?
Yeah, so Devin, Kim Worthy's office, she did acknowledge that, and she says that he, with this no contest plea, that he did not admit guilt, that he would not, but he will have to not contest the charge of the crime. Now, also a no contest plea cannot be used as an admission of liability in a civil case. Devin?
Yeah, boy, almost 50 years in the making. All right, Larry. We need to turn to the weather here. It is a very hot one across Metro Detroit today.
It is. Let's get over to Ben here on a Tuesday. The record was 90 degrees. Did we break it, Ben?
We got so close there, Kim. 88 was where we finished things out. And you're right, 90 was the record from 2012. So just like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were just a degree or two short. And this is the end of this summer-like heat, so soak this stuff in while you can. Mid to upper 80s out there, still holding on to 84 in Port Huron, 87 in the city, which, by the way, we did touch 90 at City Airport earlier today. This is about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the numbers that we were looking at yesterday. So we get the heat out of here this afternoon. Then we turn our attention to thunderstorms tonight, and the severe risk does have a lot of us in a marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow. It's coming in the first half of the day, so that's something a little different. We'll take a look at the timing of this for the commute in just a few minutes, guys.
Ben, today the state is reporting 739 new cases of COVID-19, making this the third straight day with cases below 1,000. 66 new deaths are also being reported, including 31 from a review of vital records.
As for the vaccine, 10.8 million doses now have been distributed to Michigan. 8.1 million of those doses have been administered into Michigan arms.
And slow progress continues on the vaccination rate. 58.1% of Michigan adults have had at least one vaccine dose. Across the country, the U.S. is hitting a critical mark with 50% of American adults now fully vaccinated.
But with the Memorial Day weekend just ahead, the White House COVID response team urging those who are not vaccinated not to let their guard down. Let's bring in Dr. Frank McGeorge here with the highlights from today's briefing. Doc?
Yeah, Kim and Devin, holiday weekends have led to surges in the past. But with half of adults in the United States now protected, health officials are hoping this holiday weekend can be different.
Today, the U.S. will hit 50% of adult Americans that are fully vaccinated. This is a major milestone in our country's vaccination efforts.
9 states, mostly in the Northeast, have already reached the mark of having 70% of adults with at least one shot. The vaccines are working, with cases continuing to decline. But with half of adults still not fully vaccinated, no one is ready to declare victory.
We have more work to do to meet the president's goal of 70% of adult Americans with one shot by July 4th. And unless you're vaccinated, you are at risk. When the virus looks for a place to spread, and it doesn't spread to a vaccinated person, it will look for you.
There may soon be another option for adolescents as well. Moderna announced its trial found their vaccine was safe and effective in children aged 12 to 17. There were 4 cases of COVID in the placebo group and none in the kids who received the vaccine. Side effects were similar to those seen in adults, and no significant safety concerns were identified. Next month, Moderna plans to ask the FDA to expand its emergency use authorization to those 12 and up. But as the nation prepares to mark the first holiday since COVID restrictions were loosened, the message was clear.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected, and you can enjoy your Memorial Day. If you are not vaccinated, our guidance has not changed for you. You remain at risk of infection. You still need to mask and take other precautions.
Now, the COVID response team also officially gave their blessing for, and I love the name, the Vax-A-Million incentives, like the lottery being held in Ohio. Ohio actually saw a 55% increase in the vaccination rate among adults between the age of 20 and 49 in the days after the lottery was announced. And now Maryland, New York, and Oregon have announced similar programs.
Frank, I think everyone feeling pretty encouraged right now, but how concerning is it that we see some states and some cities like Detroit lagging so far behind when it comes to vaccine rates?
Well, Devin, of course, anywhere you have higher rates of unvaccinated people, there is a higher risk. The virus simply has more options to continue to spread. And remember, children under 12 are still unvaccinated, and we really need to keep taking precautions to protect them.
Right.
And that includes getting more adults vaccinated.
Yeah, you got it. All right, Frank.
Well, it has been 1 year since George Floyd died at the hands of Minneapolis police. And since then, one officer has been convicted of murder. 3 other officers still face trial. His family is in Washington today as the police reform bill named after Floyd is stalled in the Senate. Chris Pallone joins us with the latest.
Several members of George Floyd's family spent the day not in Minnesota where he died, but here in Washington, meeting with lawmakers and the president as they continue their push for systemic change in the way the police deal with the public.
Say his name.
George Floyd. On the first anniversary of his death, George Floyd's family members met with President Biden at the White House.
We're just thankful for what's going on, and we just want this George Floyd Policing Act to be passed in the future.
The family renewing its call for Congress to pass legislation crafted to end fatal police encounters, like the one that killed Floyd a year ago in Minneapolis.
If you can make federal laws to protect the bird, which is the bald eagle, you can make federal laws to protect people of color.
The president eager to sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which has already passed the House but faces hurdles in the Senate.
He said that he doesn't want to sign a bill that doesn't have substance and meaning, so he is going to be patient to make sure it's the right bill, not a rush bill.
The Floyd Act would ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants, prohibit racial profiling, and end qualified immunity for law enforcement, allowing people to file civil suits against the police. That provision appears to be the key sticking point for Senate Republicans. Both sides still optimistic a deal can be struck despite missing the White House's deadline.
I stand here to renew the commitment that we will get this bill on President Biden's desk.
Across the nation, state lawmakers have introduced 3,000 policing-related bills, and more than 30 states have enacted new police oversight laws. Many of those new laws an answer to the outcries for justice for what happened in Minneapolis 1 year ago today. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said as a compromise, civil lawsuits against police departments could move forward, but only in cases where a death or serious bodily injury occurred. No response yet from Democrats on the potential compromise. In Washington, Chris Pallone, Local 4.
Hey, Chris, thank you. And ahead at 6, we'll have a look at the changes our local police departments have made 1 year later.
We've got a lot more to come, though, here at 5 on this Tuesday. Let's check in with Hank.
It's a battle over a lost dog.
The person who adopted this dog should be told the rightful owner came forward.
The dog's original owner found her pet at this shelter, but then things took a surprising twist.
That's a part of my family. It's not just a pet. You know, he's a part of my family.
And an Oakland County family is left fearing for the worst. Ahead here at 5, what the family of a local journalist arrested by the military in Myanmar are telling us today, 24 hours after everything went wrong. Sean.
We're live next on Local 4. 3 members of the Wolverine Watchmen who are accused in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. They had a court hearing today where some new information came out, plus a surprise decision was made.